In his truck.
He's got a seat, that looks like a seatbelt, eh?
Oh, okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Planning Advisory Committee for Thursday, June 20th. We have James on Zoom, and I'll now call the meeting to order. The time is 5 p.m. We'll now proceed with item number 2, approval of the agenda, that the agenda for the Planning Advisory Committee meeting of June 20th, 2024 be approved as presented. May I have a mover? Leanne, seconder, Mayor Shankar, and all in favor? Motion carries. Item 3, any declarations of interest? I am declaring a declaration of interest tonight for item 5.3. So at that point, we'll take over the chair. Item number 4, minutes of the meeting held May 8th, 2024. I have a recommendation that the Planning Advisory Committee minutes dated May 8th, 2024 be accepted as presented. Do I have a mover? All in favor? Carried.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure, James has a comment or not.
Oh, sorry, James. Did you have a comment?
Nope, no, I'm good.
No?
I
Okay.
apologize.
No comment.
Okay. We'll move along then to 5.1. Item 5.1 is PAC Report 12-2024 regarding the CIP application for the downtown area located at 513 King Street West, Katarina's Coffee Shop. The recommendation reads that the Planning Advisory Committee approve Community Improvement Program Application 2024-10 in full for 513 King Street West under the downtown area to a maximum of $18,000 in non-repayable property improvement grant funding, not exceeding 50% of eligible costs. I have a move, second discussion, Mayor Shankar and Dana will speak to the report.
Thank you, Chair Young, through you to the committee. We have an application before you this evening from Katarina's Coffee Shop located at 513 King Street West, requesting $18,000 in grant funds to upgrade the building facade with new stucco, as well as level the existing interlock patio and expand the patio space to accommodate additional seating. There's a large grass area out front of the property that would be converted to a patio space. So certainly warranted given the level of traffic that they could, especially throughout the summer months. The applicant was actually approved for the facade portion of this work under the previous CIP program. Unfortunately, they struggled for quite some time even to get quotes for the project. And by the time they finally did, they greatly exceeded what they had been approved for in funding under the previous program. So the owner reached out to me and expressed interest in pursuing additional funding through the amended CIP program. So we were recommended that at that point we close her existing application and that she reapply under the new program. And that's what we're bringing forward to the committee for approval tonight. The total investment value of the project is $33,000 and the applicant meets all eligibility requirements. And that's it.
Is there any discussion? I think it's wonderful. I think it's a fantastic thing for downtown.
Absolutely.
I love it. Good. Improve everything. Okay, so we'll call the
I
question.
just asked, oh, sorry. So the green space, Miss Valentine, is that the one that's east of the current? Yeah. Have that little pop-up tent?
Yeah, so that in the picture shown there, that entire grass space will now be converted to patio.
What about the planter around the sign?
That is, they do plan to remove that and convert the entire space to seating, and it will actually provide much greater accessibility to their parking area as well. Because currently people have to walk over the grass or all the way south to the King Street sidewalk. So they are planning on incorporating a little bit of a walk-through area there as well to improve site accessibility. And they will add a bit of a barrier fence around that east end as well that will kind of match what's been done on the west, just to keep it nicely closed in.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Then it separates it from the parking.
Mhm.
Okay, all in favor? Motion carried. Item 5.2 is PAC Report 13-2024 regarding a CIP application for 192 King Street West, Lamar Care Collective. The recommendation reads that the Planning Advisory Committee approve Community Improvement Program Application 2024-11 in full. 192 King Street West under the downtown area to a maximum of 22,000 in non-repayable property improvement grant funding, not exceeding 50% of eligible costs and up to 1,000 or 10%, whichever is greater in permit grants. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Next funding. Go ahead, Dana.
Thank you, Chair Young, through you to the committee. We have an application before you from Lamar Hair Collective, which is actually currently known as Lamar on Main, located at 132 King Street West. They have very quickly have grown their current location where they're co-located with Star Wellness. And the business was actually formerly located at 392 Edward Street, which was downsized around COVID time for obvious reasons and relocated to King Street. And they have since, as I mentioned, outgrown their existing location, and they plan to start to go back to their original business concept, which will involve bringing additional stylists in and offering some new esthetician services as well. So it's going to fulfill a much needed gap in the community. I can certainly attest to our existing businesses being unable to meet the current demand when it comes to clients. So it will be great to see an increase in that service. And they're going to be moving into 192 King Street West, which is formerly the River Home location. And they're going to be completing a number of additional property improvements, new facade, looking at installing an awning, which I think will be a really great complement to the facade and the downtown as a whole. That's something that we've been encouraging commercial property owners to do since day one with the CIP program. And they'll be completing, installing a new front door, a new entranceway, and then some interior improvements as well, such as painting, plumbing, and electrical. And to support the project, they applied for funding to up to a maximum of 22,000 in grant and up to $1,000 or 10% in permit fees. And their total investment will be 58,000 for the project. So it's certainly an extensive project. It'll result in an expanded business in 2 locations, actually, because Star Wellness will be expanding to occupy the entirety of 132 King Street. So we won't end up with a vacancy as a result of this relocation. So I think it's a really positive story all around, and we're bringing the application forward for consideration.
Thanks, Dana. Is there any discussion? Commissioner Hart?
So on their application, Ms. Valentine, at 6B and 6D, is that just a typo? Should that say 11,500 and 47,000?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Sorry, there's a hyphen in there for some reason.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. My apologies.
No, I just didn't know what it meant. I figured it out as I was asking the question. Now, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
You're finished.
Finish? Okay, thank you.
Problem.
So I know there's a question about eligibility in terms of if you've already been a recipient of a grant, correct? Is there anything against someone moving to a new location and becoming a recipient once again?
At this point, no, this would be eligible under the current parameters of the program. It's certainly the CIP program, is very much tied to property versus individuals and the eligibility.
And we've had success with this business before.
We have. The business did receive CIP funding for their existing location at 132 King Street. And if you'll recall, the business that occupied that location formerly was Forwarders Antiques, which had moved on, and they came in and completely redid that location and actually, really elevated it and brought it to a point where it's turnkey. Any business could move in there. And not only did they do interior work, they did complete facade restoration as well. So a significant investment into that space, which, positions it well for Star Wellness to carry on there.
That's great, because I remember that, what it was before, Forwarders Antiques. That sweet little old lady who used to sell newspapers and stuff in there.
Oh, yeah, Margaret Morris.
Right, yes. So it's come a long way. Thank you.
Didn't they sell baby clothes in there at one point in time too?
And dolls, I think, like
Right, yeah, yeah.
Lots of China.
China dolls.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, China dolls, yeah.
And did you wanna?
Yep, thank you. I love that they're putting an awning on this. I mean, years ago, we used to have a few awnings downtown. Main Smoke Shop for one,
Mm-hmm.
used to have the awnings and stuff. It really adds some character.
Does.
It really does. And I like that she's expanding again. For sure. So, and she's going through, the right channels with the application, and I think it's great. Thank you.
Anyone else? James, did you?
No, I'm good.
Good, okay. Okay, so, all in favor? Motion carried. And then we'll ask Mayor Schaefer to.
Oh,
Here.
come over here. All right, so Council Young has vacated her chair. Item 5.3 is PAC Report 14-2024 regarding a CIP application for 270 Dibble Street West. The recommendation reads that the Planning Advisory Committee approved Community Improvement Program application 2024-12 in full for 270 Dibble Street West under the Heritage District area to a maximum of $2,000 in non-repayable property improvement grant funding, not exceeding 50% of eligible costs and up to 1,000 or 10%, whichever is greater in permit grants. Can I get a mover and seconder for discussion? There we go. James will move it. Susan will second it. Dana? What was yours?
Thank you, Chair Kemper, for you to the committee. We have an application before you under the heritage category tonight, which is unfortunately, we don't get a lot of applications under this category. So it was a pleasant surprise to see this one come in. So this is for 270 Dibble Street West. The application is for the property to upgrade the electrical service to the property. It's currently equipped with a 50 amp service, and the property would be brought up to a 100 amp service, which is a standard residential service today. Unfortunately, as the very reason why this property would potentially qualify for heritage designation is because it is certainly older construction and wasn't equipped with today's standard of electrical service. So they requested funding through the CIP program to support the upgrade. The total requested is $2,000 in grant funding and up to $1,000 in permit fee grants. And we're recommending full approval of the application this evening. And it's certainly a good example of work done to restore and preserve a heritage interest property that could potentially move to the designation list.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion? I heard you say something earlier, like this is one of the rare ones. This is the first one I've seen.
I think, so we just actually passed another one recently for the St. John's, the Friends of St. John's. Their garden project
Oh,
and the work that they need to do to the cellar. to accommodate that.
Right.
But beyond that, we've had very few. Off the top of my head, I wouldn't want to speculate, but we do have just one other,
Yeah, back in
Okay.
2019.
2019, yeah.
Oh, sorry, there's a list, yeah.
Majority do tend to the downtown category.
That was the Crane House, is that right?
Yes, that's the one, yes.
What did they do to that? This is a pretty big project.
Residential, full restoration. They turned it into, I believe, 4 condos,
Oh, okay, is that the one by St. Mark?
right on Dibble and Edward Street.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
very nice. Okay. All right, I guess, I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried, thank you. I'm gonna remove myself and go get on. Which one? Oh, Good, now you're from
Okay. Item 5.4, CIP financial record. Our CAO, Matthew Armstrong will speak to us.
Very much. So just going through this, I've updated the records to reflect to last time as well as at the same time after the last meeting, we went through a fulsome review of everything that was outstanding. And if it had closed or hadn't had movement for a long time, then we proceeded to move to closure. And so that allowed us to put a fair amount of funds back into the pot for reallocation. And so before this evening, we had just about $100,000 to reallocate. After this evening, we still have $58,000 to allocate. So, I think with the new program, we're certainly seeing a lot of applications this year and already up to 12. And so that's good news. And certainly it helped with an additional 200,000 in one-time top up for the program. So more than happy to answer any questions on my feed. I also included the loan page and not really a lot of movement on that since the last meeting, but yeah, happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Matthew. Any discussion?
My only question would be, just for the people at home, the loan summary, no one's defaulted.
No.
And everything's coming back. Question again, just for clarity. We don't charge interest on the loan, is that correct?
That's correct.
And so are we losing money by are we borrowing money to give it to them or are we using our money?
We're using our money. So obviously we're not earning interest on that money, but we're not borrowing money in order to pay for it.
So we're not essentially losing money.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
I think we're probably making more on this investment than we would if it was sitting in a bank account or GIC or whatever.
And so I think it's in the long term, and look, when people are making investments in their property, the value of the property goes up due to those investments. And then that's a perpetual return investment. So I think that's certainly from my perspective, how to look at it. And so while you're forgoing some interest earned today, you're encouraging the investment for payment in perpetuity.
Even though that overall assessment increase probably results in some pretty significant additional taxation that comes in long term, so.
And even like with the downtown facades, the whole design improvements that are made and.
And
Yeah, there's-
I think, when we take a look at where we were back in 2018, and I think, there was comments, you could walk through the downtown, find 20 and 30 storefronts. That's not the case today. And again, we hear that CIP program is what really spurred people to either make an investment in a property or move to and open a business or to reinvest in their business, expand it, and really that's the program. That's what we're trying to do. And it does have the knock-on effect of increasing our taxation, that increased in value.
Just a comment, thank you. Just on that, I mean, just on the first application, they're spending almost $33,000 and they're only asking for 18,000. So they're still investing their own money, but they just need that extra help. And the CIP program, like I say, every meeting, it's working. It's working for our town.
Absolutely.
Yep. Thank you.
Any other discussion? No? Okay, is there any media present, Matthew? Okay. So item 8 is adjournment. I have a recommendation that the Planning Advisory Committee meeting be adjourned. Time is 5:22, sorry, now ahead of myself. Can I have a mover? Leanne seconder, all in favor? James? Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bill?
Can you